Alright, what's going on, guys? So we are going to continue looking at the Z-Man line of their micro finesse soft plastics. Next one we're going to be looking at is this one. This is the TicklerZ or TicklerZ. Not exactly sure how they pronounce it, but it is a little 1.75 inch soft plastic tube. This is the Space Guppy color. Not sure why they call it Space Guppy. They always come out with all these weird names. It's basically a chartreuse or a green with some little flake in it. So I'm going to put this thing on a hook. I'll show you a closer look at it. We'll throw it around the lake here that is behind me, and we'll try to get into some panfish or largemouth bass. So let's give it a shot, and let's see what happens. Alright, so here is a look at it. So, like I said, 1.75 inches. I got it on the 1/32 ounce jig head. Not exactly sure on the size hook. I think it's an 8, maybe. As always, links to all the gear that I use is in the description, so you can check it for yourself. It's very, very soft, very, very stretchy and durable, which is kind of what Z-Man is known for. And it is not a hollow body. So most tubes are hollow body tubes. This is a thick, full body, which I actually like because I think that makes them more durable. When they're hollow body, the hook can kind of rip through and pull through the soft plastic a lot easier. This one looks to be very durable. So let's go ahead, let's fish it. Let's see if we can get into some, preferably big bluegill. But if we get into some largemouths, I would not mind that either. So I'm just gonna kind of let it sink and then twitch it back slowly. I'm not really in an area where I could fish this off of the bottom because there's a lot of muck and junk on the bottom, so I'm gonna have to kind of swim it back more. There's a bite. Oh, that was a little bluegill. That was a little bluegill, but first bite on our first cast. That guy was gonna be too small to get hooked, but let's see if we can get a bigger one to bite. Got him. See what we got as our first fish. Looks like a largemouth. I'll try to keep him up above the algae so he doesn't get wrapped up. All right, let's take a look at this guy. All right, so solid little fish. It would not be a big fish if we were bass fishing, but if we're pan fishing, I think this is an okay size one. I don't know, probably a little bit over a foot or so. So we got one on the bank on the TicklerZ. Let's get him back in there, and let's see what else we can get. There we go, fish on. I think that's another largemouth. This one's bigger. Let's get him out of those lily pads and out of that algae, which will be a challenge. Yeah, it's a pretty good sized one, and it's off. He bit the hook on the jump, and all I got is all this algae to show for it. That's disappointing. Got another. This one's smaller and roughly the same area. What is this? It's not a bass, I don't think. What is this thing, a bluegill? Yep. All right, that's an okay consolation prize. Alrighty, so first bluegill of the day, and it is a pretty nice sized one. And I know we were targeting bluegill, so this is kind of what I should want to catch. But that largemouth was a nice one. Would have loved to have caught that one. Either way though, this is a beautiful bluegill. Hopefully the head comes out well in the sun. Love those purple, pink, and copper colors on these guys. But all right, fish number 2. Let's keep going. Got him. Lost him. Not sure what that was. Actually, I don't think I ever had him. He probably just bit the tail and pulled, which kind of made my lure come out that way. So we've caught 2 fish. I lost a nice largemouth, and I've had maybe a dozen more hits, but they all just kind of bite the end here. They pull, I set the hook, and then the lure ends up coming back looking something like that. So I've said it in a couple of the other videos where I've used these products. 1.75 inches, even though it is small, and it is small enough for most panfish, or I shouldn't say most panfish, small enough for some panfish and the adults of all the panfish. A lot of the smaller bluegill, even up to like, you know, 4 small, but maybe like 5-6 inches, they're just a little too small to be able to get their mouth all the way around that hook. So usually when I fish for panfish, I like to use something that's 1.5 inches, maybe 1.25, something like that. 1.75, it's still small, but it's just, I think, slightly too big for most panfish. Got him. I think this is going to be a Mayan. And of course it swam straight into all this algae. I hate when they do this. I don't even know if it's still on. And I've got all this algae to pull in with it. Well, it's fish shaped, so I think there's probably a fish under there. Alright, so first mine of the day. Don't really like catching these guys. They usually put up a good fight, especially the larger ones. I would much rather catch the native bluegills and even the native largemouths. So that guy's back in. There's fish number 3 on the Tiny TicklerZ or whatever. Got him. What is this thing? It's a little Mayan. Alrighty, so second mine of the day, also by far the smallest fish of the day. These guys have bigger mouths than I guess bluegills do at their size. So this guy was able to get the hook in him. But also within the last, I don't know, 5 minutes or so, I had 3 little short strikes in this little area. I don't know if it was the same fish or just other fish of that size, but again, my lure came back kind of looking like that several times. So getting a lot of bites from the small guys. Caught 4 fish. We'll try to catch one more that's bigger than that one, because that one was not very big. Got him. Okay, that was a big one. That was a big one, and it broke me off, which is really, really unfortunate. I don't really think I want to tie one on because I was going to call it a day after the next fish that I caught anyway. I don't know if that was going to be a big mine or a big bass. Either way, it was going to be a big one, and it just broke me off. All right, let's go ahead and let's wrap it up. Alright guys, so that's going to do it, and what a way to end it, and that is not a good thing. So unfortunately I can't show you the one I've been using all day, but it was still in perfect shape up until that last fish that broke me off. You just kind of gotta have to take my word for it. So the Tiny TicklerZ, I do really like it. Didn't produce a whole bunch of catches, but it did produce a whole bunch of fish. So I don't know if I would really use this too often in this kind of situational fishing. I would probably use this more maybe if I was targeting crappie, some sort of a bigger panfish, maybe like white bass, or maybe if I was on a boat somewhere, some deeper water, on a brush pile where I knew that there were a lot of larger bluegill or other types of panfish. When you're fishing from shore like this, or from a dock, or somewhere where the big fish is just not as common, I don't know if I would really recommend this for that type of fishing, just because you're going to get a lot of short strikes, you're not going to catch a lot of fish, and just using a smaller lure will increase the number of catches or definitely increase the number of hookups, which should increase the number of catches. But I do think this is a really nice lure. I've used tubes before and I do really like them, and I think this fatter body with this material will last obviously a whole lot longer, and it is well worth it. You're going to pay about twice as much for these as you would for like some generic or lesser known brand at Walmart in I guess tubes. But you're going to pay twice as much for these, and assuming you don't break it off like I did, they're going to last you a whole lot longer. You could probably go through a dozen, maybe a couple dozen fish on one of these, whereas on the kind of regular hollow body tubes you can get at Walmart or some other lower name brand like that, sometimes even after one fish you got to replace it because the hook just kind of ripped through the plastic and whatnot. But yeah, so this is the third micro finesse soft plastic from Z-Man that I've tried out. All three have been good. I just wish they would give this a different name, because what does space guppy mean? Like, how is that a color? Just call it chartreuse or neon green or bright yellow green or something where if you read the name you know what it is, because what is a space guppy anyway? But yeah, that's gonna do it. What do we get? 4 fish? Not too bad for about an hour out here. Anyway, hope you guys liked it, and I will see you guys next time.